This is the North End. This is the North End.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the North End. My name's Aizaz, and I am going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly from Liverpool to Arsenal to yesterday at Anfield. Before I get started, you know what I'm going to say next. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. Mainly subscribe. And I'm going to get started by saying something that I am very excited that I now get to do a good, bad, and ugly video where one game had good examples of both or all three things. Now, previously this year for Liverpool, it's mainly been bad or ugly, and then the games that haven't been bad or ugly have generally been all good. This time, we actually finally got to see a little bit of everything in one game. So I'm going to start with the good and say Liverpool, after 35 minutes, were absolutely phenomenal. Now, I'm not comparing that to Manchester City. I'm definitely not comparing it to Liverpool teams of the last couple of seasons. But compared to Liverpool this season, except for a few games, I would go ahead and say that that was one of the best performances from 35 minutes onwards that I have seen from Liverpool this season. And where did it come from? It actually came from the emotional element of the game, of when Granit Xhaka went head-to-head with the Scouser in our team, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, that really says something about Liverpool in terms of like the crowd, the passion of the players, and the commitment of the players as well. There is something seriously wrong when it takes that to actually ignite the situation that we see. But from that point on, Liverpool literally were dominating the team that is very deservedly top of the table. And for the first 35 minutes, were very deservedly dominating us. So I have to say that that performance didn't fill me with loads of confidence for the rest of the season, because Liverpool have been very, very inconsistent. Didn't really fill me with loads of confidence that we're going to do like this late on very difficult charge for top four. However, there is a little bit of hope that we don't just have to wait for this season to be over. I do remember in years gone by, there were Liverpool seasons that were built on a good end to the previous season. The two seasons that really resonate with me the most on that are the first one being 2012 to 2013. We bought Coutinho in Sturridge, ended the season really well, and ended up kickstarting the next season. And the same thing just before 17-18, which is where we ended up in the Champions League final against Real Madrid in Kiev. We actually end the 16-17 season very, very well. So I am hoping for a little bit of character, a little bit of guts, a little bit of something now. And just to talk a bit about the good as well, it was actually the creativity that Liverpool was showing. We weren't perfect, but it was the guts, the creativity, how much goal mouth action there was. We've just not seen it. We have not seen that from Liverpool. So to see that, I have to put that in the good category. Brings me on to the bad, which immediately goes on to the first 35 minutes. Now, Liverpool have been sensationally bad at starting football games this season. What is that all about? How can they even perform like this time, like week in, week out? But it is the way it is. And once again, for the first 35 minutes of this game, Liverpool were very, very bad. We were being bossed on when we were not in possession. So when Arsenal were on the ball, and when we were on the ball, we actually looked like someone had seen old Jurgen Klopp gegenpressing action before and decided to copy and paste it and apply it right back onto Liverpool. We were terrible in possession, so rushed, so nervous. And at the same time, Arsenal were right in our face, pressing us. They had all the chances. They had all the control. There were moments where we were just hitting it high and long, just clearing it. And traditionally, when teams do that at Anfield, the home crowd usually let out, oof. We were bad. And I think what has to stand out above anything else is just how many times Arsenal were able to come right at our goal, right through the middle. Now, I don't really buy into this whole like Liverpool's wing backs being weak links. I really don't need to get into it, just because if you and I are hanging out, I am giving the orders and I tell you to go outside and you go and get wet and then you come back inside, it's my fault. So Jurgen Klopp is actually sending his fullbacks out to get high. If we don't have the defensive midfielders or even the centre backs at time this year to cover those positions, that is not on the fullbacks. Now, could Trent and Robbo have actually defended a little bit better at times? 100%. That's a no-brainer. But the system error is not on them. They're playing the game that they're told to do. And then, yes, they should be defending a little bit better as well. But this isn't what yesterday was. Yesterday, like other times this season, it's right through the middle. And I do not remember seeing a top Premiership, Serie A, La Liga team being able to be got at right through the middle so many times. I remember the great Rod Hullett, actually. I remember hearing him talking about tactics one time, and he was talking about the great AC Milan team. And his whole thing with that really defensive team was all of the goals had to come from the wings. Now, I understand that that's probably linked to the really traditional defensive Italian style of play. We are going to concede goals through the middle, but just look at some of the goals we've conceded in recent weeks and look at the goals that Chelsea should have scored on us the other day. We are very weak in the middle. Fabinho can't hack it. Henderson wasn't giving him cover. This time we actually had Trent as an auxiliary midfielder, and like who was filling in behind him, pulling centre backs out of position. But time and time again, Arsenal got right near our goal, right through the middle, and it has to stop. It's really bad. Of course, we can talk about the new midfield, whoever it is coming in the summer, but people need to step up and really make us not that easy to play against, because that was a doddle. And finally, ugly. I'm not going to once again talk about referees as much as I would like to in terms of the game. But what I do have to say is things are getting really, really ugly when there is an incident where one of the footballers on the pitch is getting elbowed by someone actually bigger than him. And look, there's nothing wrong with officials and assistant refs looking after themselves and hitting the gym. This guy definitely hits the gym, and fair play to him. It probably makes him a better official. But there was a little bit of rage, should I say, without putting anything before it. And once again, as well as the Brighton versus Tottenham game and other decisions this week, we just have to get the ugly side out of the game. And somehow the ugly side of the game aren't the hooligans like the media would like you to have. It's not the players. It's not the foreign players diving or anything like that. It's the bog standard refereeing in the Premier League. And this time, I'm not going to talk about decisions. I'm not going to talk about what we could have had, but I'm definitely going to give a little bit of a shout out to someone who literally elbowed a footballer in the face on a football pitch and came out in the second half. And it's maybe we should have gone to VAR for that. It's ridiculous. And it's definitely ugly. And there you go. Good, bad, the ugly. Brilliant Premiership game. Probably has ramifications for the title in one way or the other. If Arsenal win it by a point, that's a huge point gain because they were battered in the second half. If Manchester City go on to win it, was this the game where Arsenal actually ended up giving a little bit of that impetus away, because they were 2-0 up at Anfield and they haven't won it since 2012. So brilliant Premier League game, a classic game. I was actually all right with the 2-2, even though really at this point we don't have loads to play for this season. But let me know what you think. Well, let me know what you think about the game. Let me know what you think about the results. Let me know what you think about the performances. And above anything else, let me know when you subscribe. All the best.
This is the North End.